when we saw her regularly. My heart's been breaking a little bit when she was expecting her twinnies, and she had definitely one of the most impressive bumps I have ever seen, still to this day. And then when I got to meet her in person, I realized why. It's because she is this tall, and so I feel like I got to find that picture now of you
I know.
because it's comical. I'm
I
like
love that picture.
I'm two of Kylie's is what I would be in real life. And I've been following her ever since. She's a really good motivator. She really is. And when I'm having a bad day, what she doesn't know is that if I stalk her Insta, I do. I love it. And I love just seeing how everybody is growing up. The twins are now 3.5, and your oldest son is 5.5. I can't believe that. But we had done this, and we always talk to pregnant moms. And I was talking to Julie a while ago, and I was like, Jewel, I want to talk to everybody. Like, I really miss you guys. I really, really do. So fill us in on
Well,
what's been happening.
I miss you guys too. Like, I can't believe how far away that feels. Like,
Right?
just the birth experience, the first year, even like when you get out of that, like I tell people I don't even remember like the first year of their life. Almost, it feels like so like it was somebody else, and now there's this whole new thing that I'm going through. So, yeah, they're 3, and Tristan, my oldest, he started kindergarten this year, which was, of course, the best year ever to start kindergarten. And so we've been doing a lot of virtual school learning, and I'm now a stay-at-home mom. I don't know if you remember, I was working full-time, and then because of the pandemic and everything, I'm at home now with the kiddos. So that's another adjustment that I've been going through again. And it's been a lot, but I'm trying to hopefully, spread, like you said, on social media, and just spread awareness of what we're going through, and how everybody's doing, and just my own little things, and hopefully motivating, like you said.
You really do. You really, really do. And there's days that I watch you work out and I'm like, I hate her so much. And then there's days that I'm like, okay, fine. I'll do something. I'll
Well,
stand up.
I like watching you do the Peloton and do the.
I love my
I like.
Peloton, man. I know
You're
it's
so
so
funny.
nerdy, but I was an early adopter of the Peloton. So we had ours before the pandemic, I want to say. But it's really because I have very limited space, and it just made sense. And did you know what's really crazy is that I went to the doctor like, I don't know, 3 months before I got the Peloton. And so I have, like, my whole family has arthritic knees. And so the doctor's like, listen, it's happening. And I have knock knees, which I didn't even know were like a real thing. I always thought that was weird. But I popped my knee out I went to like a kickboxing class, and they were like, okay, do a squat. But my knees don't go straight if I do a squat, because knock knees are a real thing. So they go in. And so the guy was like, you have to put your leg straight. So I put my leg straight, and I tried, and I actually pulled my knee. Because I was like, why isn't my knee going straight? Yeah. And meanwhile, I'm like 40 plus. How the hell do I not know that this is something that happens? So I went to the doctor, and they said, listen, you have 2 choices. You could go to physical therapy, or you could get an exercise bike. And they're like, because the bike will actually strengthen your thigh muscle, and your thigh muscle will pull your kneecap up and make you not have pain. I was like, dude, sign me up, Miss Peloton. So it's been working out great. I actually have no more knee pain, period, the end. It's not even
That's
like
awesome.
an issue anymore. How simple is that? It's right over there right now. So yeah, it's crazy. But back to you, because I want to talk about the kiddos, but I feel like I want to talk about everything because we're friends, and it's weird that I haven't spoken to you in so long.
I know. I missed you.
How is it with 3.5-year-old kids? Let's talk about, because the people that are watching, they want to know, please tell me. And I remember when I was expecting, and I'm sure you could relate to this, when I met somebody that had 3.5-year-old twins, I was like, I'm never going to get there. That's never going to happen. That seems like such an eternity away. How are you dealing with 3.5? Like, you got out of the terrible 2s. How are things now?
I think we're doing okay at this point. Like, I look at them, and just like every day there's a moment where they are communicating with each other, playing with each other, wrestling each other. Probably too much wrestling, which is like a bane of my existence. But but those moments are so cool, like getting to see the growth and being able to see like how far we've come, and the love that they have for each other and for their older brother. It's awesome. I mean, especially now, like being home so much, we are really, I'm getting to enjoy all of those moments. But yeah, it's for me as like a mom, I feel like overwhelmed with the sensory stuff. Like just like
Yeah.
it's because it's all three boys and they're just constantly tackling and touching and screaming and crying and it's a fight here and there. So I want to say it gets better, but it's a lot still. Obviously they're no longer crib bound and they're
Mhm.
moving and they're going everywhere and climbing on everything and there's always something.
Hmm. So with the three boys, three and a half, everybody wrestling all the town, do you have like hard stops? Like do you say, okay, like if somebody puts a thumb in somebody's eye, like I have to imagine that it's got to be pretty loose regulations because there's only so much that you could say no to. But what are your hard stops?
For the most part, I would say it's a free for all. It's the most of the day. But when it comes to, I've been noticing like a 4 o'clock, like point of hitting the wall. And I'm like, okay, everyone upstairs in your room, you need to separate. Mommy needs a break. Like, we need to get this together. And so I get like my 1 hour little break and for me, my twins are not napping anymore. So that has been like the biggest struggle because they're exhausted by the time at like 4 or 5 o'clock. And they just want to. The one has a personality of getting super silly and just like falling all over the place. And the other has a personality of just getting like angry. And so they have totally different like sleep um, triggers, like how you
Okay.
know that they're sleepy. But so they both do that at the same time, basically, and so
Aw.
it's a rat race.
Oh my gosh. What are some of the things that you say, or have you, or does this never happen, that you say, oh my gosh, I'm so happy they're twins?
Oh goodness. I the the biggest moments are probably when they like just were like, oh, here's a hug, brother. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I think that's the cutest
Oh,
thing in the world. The whole like, I love you, and here's a hug randomly for for twin boys and for twins. I think that they're not terrible with each other. Like, I don't
mhm.
think that they try to, like you were saying, cross the line at
Yeah,
any like too much.
good.
For some reason, it seems like they know their boundaries and they tend to say sorry when it's required. Like when they need to, when they know that they hurt someone. Like we still have biting incidents
Ooh,
sometimes, so
okay.
that's not fun. But they'll say sorry, and I have one twin that like just bounces back from things very quickly. I mean, he's dramatic, but then he'll be like, okay,
Yeah.
and just be okay with the situation, and they'll go right back to playing.
I love that. Now, having an older son, right? So he was still little when they were born. How has the whole blend with them, does he act like their boss or is he their foreman? Like what is his role in the boy kind of crew?
I would say more of a foreman, like more he doesn't always interact with them. Like he could care less sometimes. Like he's just like,
Okay.
okay, I want my own thing. But then it's the funniest thing is I think that one of my twins is like the closest to him, and the other one could care less. Like so they've kind of had like this other like like relationship between the
Okay.
one twin and the oldest, and then so he's my best friend. The Keegan, my twin, he's like, Tristan's my best friend and he's my twin. Every time I try to explain the twin concept, because they're
Yeah,
starting to
that's got to be
kind of,
tough.
it's funny. They're like, Tristan's my twin. I'm like, no, you're twins with each other. And if you know me, like they don't look anything alike at all. And I've been watching I've been watching like old shows like Sister Sister, and I'll be like, they're twins and they look alike and they're twins, just like you guys are twins. And he's like, the twins are like, yeah, we're twins. We're twins. And they don't look alike at all, but they're like, that looks
Yes.
like us. Like they're like, that looks like us, even though they're identical twins. So they're just so funny, all of their concepts of what their relationship is.
Are you ready to give some parenting advice? Here,
Oh
I'm going to see if
gosh.
I could do this. You could do it. I know you can. Brittany said, how do you know when it's time to give up a nap? My twins just turned 3 and they have started to wake up in the middle of the night and be up for a few hours. How did you know personally that it was time to give up the nap?
They did it themselves. I think it was just like a fight because I transitioned really early out of the crib. I think I told you about this, but like partly because of like we got new beds or we moved or whatnot, so we just did it. And then I think when we moved into this new house, like I had no way to just like keep them in their room
Yeah.
and to do their thing, but they were deciding just to like play the entire time. And they have 2 separate rooms, but
Okay.
it's connected by a bathroom. And
Oh,
so
that's
they'd go
great.
going back and forth and and destroy their room and whatnot. But so I gave up. I think you know this about me. I'm kind of like the parent, like I don't, yeah, it is what it is.
Did you
And
think that you would be that type of parent?
oh no, I was like, I'm gonna be, I think I was the person who was like all organic and no TV and blah blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, pandemic, whatever. Like they're fine. They're gonna survive.
Ugh. They are going to survive. It's interesting because when people are expecting, they have like this one very specific mindset of what they think they're going to be like as a parent, and then 3.5 years later, you're like, maybe it's not a green juice every day. Maybe it's not a
Yeah.
green juice kind of day.
Well, I think it's different when my first was when little, and then when life throws you twins, it's kind of like all rules go out the window. I feel like a little bit.
Oh, definitely, definitely, definitely. Now, pandemic town. How have you adapted?
Um, Probably not the best, but we just we're super cautious, super careful, and I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I miss my job. I miss lots of things about normal life, but I'm super grateful that no one has been sick in my family, and we've been super cautious and getting a lot of family time together. And daddy works from home 2 days a week. So not, I don't, I wouldn't say that's a huge blessing. It's also sometimes a curse. You're like,
It's true.
quiet, quiet, quiet.
That's got to be tough, girl. I can't even
So
imagine.
yeah, and having him be a part of that, like seeing what goes on in the home while you're a stay-at-home mom, is always like, okay, are you judging me a little bit?
Yeah. It's got to be tough. You do have a big enough house that you can, try to segregate them a little bit. It's this whole new universe. Hopefully we're going back to normal and things will be okay. Now, Kylie, looking back 3.5 years, but I can't believe it. So if I'm sitting here in disbelief that this time has passed, what are some of your best tips that you could give a parent besides the letting go? Because that's a huge one. That's really a huge one. But
That's what
what
I
else
say
would you
most.
what would you tell the expectant Kylie?
Um, just to look at those good moments. Like I think that those moments have been carrying me through, especially now, just being able to really soak in those times
Mhm.
when they're just cute as heck, like and they're able to just looking at the growth of what they're able to do. And um I don't know, there's a lot of those moments that you have to really hang on to.
Yeah.
and really that's what's going to bring you through, I guess. It's just the love for your kiddos.
It's the
And
truth. You have no
that
choice, right? That's all. That's what you got to make it every day. I'm telling you, my twins are now 16, and just get, all I have to say is my boy is very easy. So I did, like, I feel good for you. It's the house full of girls that I want to be like, buy a house in the forest where you could run to, just get out of there. Or for you, the hills, the rocks. I don't know what you have out there, but it's gonna get more and more interesting, and it's gonna get a lot more fun. Now, when it's
oh
time
yeah.
to put the puppies in school, are you going to put them in one class or two? And you have the benefit of learning from Tristan, right? So that I've had a kid go to kindergarten. Have you given much thought about what you're going to do with them?
Yeah, I have. Because the way that their personalities are, I think that they'd be better off separated. They're not. I wouldn't say that they're like super attached like some twins are. Like they're not reliant upon each other for a lot, and they have completely separate personalities and distinct like things that they need. And it's just interesting seeing those different traits, like
Okay.
even within twins, like, and my oldest one, obviously I have such a difference of range of abilities and skills and knowledge and all these different things within one group of three kiddos.
Yeah.
I think that having them separate would be great. However, I did think about this because of the pandemic. I would not want to have them separated if I had to do virtual school with them
Yeah.
again. That sounds like a nightmare.
It is.
And
It's learning to be like, Julie wrote a great article about how to get them back together in a class if they were in separate classes, because managing that virtual schedule with two different classes. I mean, we have plenty of moms probably and dads, some of them that might be on right now, that are just really going through it. So yeah, but if and when life goes back to normal, you're going to opt for separate classes.
if it's possible, if the school's big enough, otherwise I'm okay. I am still a little bit worried about the separate homework, the different, because
It's not bad, Kylie.
it's
I'm
so,
telling you, from me to
yeah.
you, you could totally do it. And what's really cool about it, and so for those of you that might be considering, is one of the things that I learned accidentally was that not all teachers are created equal. And
Exactly.
so sometimes you get a twin that has a better teacher, and the better teacher, the better taught twin will actually assist their sibling with
Mhm.
a subject. And I realized that for I would say probably from first grade, kindergarten, it wasn't so much, but first grade, we definitely had like one teacher that had been there for 30 years and should do nothing but be a teacher in her life. Like, she was just extraordinary. Like that first grade teacher that like you dream about, like from Happy
Yeah.
Gilmore, like so fantastic. And then you had a very young teacher that had just started and was, getting kind of her sea legs on the whole thing. And if it wasn't for that one teacher that really was set in stone, I think both of the kid that had the younger teacher, not that she was a bad teacher, it's just experience is good. And I really liked having that. Both of them were equally on my side. Both of them had the twins back, but one twin could assist the other in some things. And that actually it still happens to this day. So now my kids for the first time are in separate schools for high school. They had been in the
Oh,
same school at least forever. Now they go to two separate schools, and they really help each other. They really, really do. And it's definitely something I would recommend to every family out there. I always think that kids should be separated. We tried. We did a year of them together and then a year of them separate, and I was like, we're never going back. That was it. So it's going to be good. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Good.
yeah.
Do you think that once they go to school that you're going to go back to work?
Well, I'm actually going back to school. I'm going to get my doctorate in physical therapy
Go for
for postpartum care. So hopefully, and for
it,
women's
Kylie.
health. So, you guys have
Oh, yeah.
inspired me for sure, and this has been a journey for me. And hopefully, I can give back the same as everybody has done for me as a twin mom.
I can't believe that. I'm so proud of you. That was like a surprise. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so proud of you, my friend.
Thank you.
Oh, Kylie, good. Help everybody. Help everybody. I love that. Well, thank you for checking in on us.
Yeah, I miss you so much.
I miss you too. Hope when the world goes back to normal, we'll have bagels again. I promise.
Yes, I want to go to New York so bad. I miss
I'm right here.
New
I'm not
York.
going anywhere. Don't worry about it. And all of you that are visiting from out of town, I'm always up for a good cup of coffee. So don't think that Kylie's the
Yes.
only one that calls and says, want to come down? I go, yeah, I'll be right there. That's how I
Yes.
do it. What? You're
Yes.
treating? I mean,
And go to the restaurant.
yes.
Ooh,
Oh, it'll
get
be
some
open
good
again soon.
food.
Oh my gosh, Kylie, I love you so much. Kylie, how do we stalk you? How best do you want them? Do you want them on Insta? Do you have a new
Definitely
Facebook?
Instagram. Definitely Instagram. I'm on there, Mrs. Kylee Austin, and so
Easy.
I always am posting my stories every day, just everyday life, chilling with the twinnos.
I love it. All right, guys. So if you have questions for Kylie, stalk her over there. That's where you'll find me too. You'll see if you need anything, I'll be over there as well. But you could always email us at community@twiniversity.com and just let us know. Like, you know, if you got a question for Kylie, she's in Arizona, soon to be masters of physical therapy. Can't believe it.
Doctor.
Could we call you doctor like all the time?
It's a
Yes, queen, we're doing it. Oh my God. I can't believe it. There's a doctor in the family. It's what I've always done. I got to tell my mom we finally have a doctor in the family. So excited. So you guys know where to find me. Have the best day ever. Kylie, I love you, but you stay right there, Kylie. Don't leave me. But the rest of you out there, we will see you later, alligators.